Okay, so we are here in our first meeting, first lesson, right? And as I mentioned, or would mention in the future during the briefing, 7.1 is all about learning skills, right? And if you're going to be in science, one of the most important things that you need to skills that you need to cultivate is the ability to read scientific articles, right? So this week I will explain quickly what scientific articles are, and next week we'll have Dr. Magdalene N from the Science Library will come and tell you how to find these science articles, and in week 3 I'll come back again and then I'll show you some strategies to read articles easily, right? So this is a skill that you must slowly cultivate over the years, and it will be very useful in the long run in your scientific career. Even if you're not going to do science, right? The ability to extract information from sources efficiently is a very useful transferable skill, right? So I mean, I wish that somebody would have explained or taught me these skills when I was a graduate student, right? But that never happened, right? But I hope that you will benefit from all this experience that we have, right? So let's quickly go. This is not going to be a long video, right? So if you go to the website, you'll see that we have a bit of some small notes, right? So the reason why we have these scientific journals is because people are always, scientists are engaged in research, and once they discover something, they need to share that information, because science progresses by building on each other's work, right? So how this works is that once you have discovered something significant that you want to share with people, then you go and publish it in a scientific journal. Now, a scientific journal is there are many scientific journals, right? So all these big publishing houses like Wiley, Springer, right, Elsevier, many of them, right, even the not so big ones, have journals dedicated to certain topics, right? So there's Physical Review Letters, the Journal of Chemical Education. So they target specific types of research, right? So what you do is, once you have a piece of research that you're ready to share with people, you write it up and you publish it in one of these journals. Now, publishing in journals is one of the most important things in a scientist's career, because that sort of is the milestones, right, of where you are in your career. So some journals tend to be more prestigious than the other ones, right? So this would mean that if you manage to publish in one of those prestigious journals, right, you get more brownie points, right? So sometimes people who publish in Nature and Science, right, just with one publication get promotions and all that. So that's how science, the academic system works, right? Maybe not necessarily the best way, right? But that is how it is right now, right? So now, so like I said, the reason that we have these journals is to share this knowledge, right? But journals are not just places where you publish, but they get peer reviewed, meaning that once you have a piece of work and you submit it, right, it goes through this slightly elaborate process of other people looking at your work to see whether it actually makes sense, whether it's actually sound. Now, it is, well, there are many instances where people try to game the system, right? Because there's so much riding on publishing articles, right? People try to cheat and publish as much as possible, right? And so recently there was a major retraction of articles from some journals and all that. So these things happen all the time, right? So because of this problem, any work normally gets peer reviewed, right? And now the peer review process is what is shown here. Now this is from Wiley, right? So essentially you submit the article, right? Then the editor of the journal looks at it and wonders whether it's good enough for the journal, right? And then the editor passes it on to reviewers, right? Now these reviewers are other scientists who may be who have made a name in the field, right? So they look at it and they get back to the editor saying with comments, right? And if it is okay, the editor will give back to say there are these comments, you'll have to fix it or do something, right, to change it. And then this is the reviewing process. Sometimes it gets rejected, sometimes it goes through, right? So another new thing that is showing up recently, especially because I shouldn't say new, but something that was that has been around for a while, that is gaining a lot of prominence, is this archive servers, right? So if the archive from Cornell and the bioarchive servers, they are places where people can just publish their data on the web, right, and get feedback from the whole community, right? So scientists normally do this. They put it up just before they submit it to a journal so that they can get feedback from their peers, right? So this has become very popular, especially with the COVID-19 problem, because people want to publish things fast, right? And it's unprecedented that in this era, because of the COVID-19 thing, papers get published much faster. The reviewing process goes through much faster. Otherwise, sometimes it can take years for this reviewing process to take place, right? Anyway, so that's essentially what this scientific journal thing is, right? It's very important for you because this is essentially how you make a name for yourself, right? So at some point when you're doing your research, you would want to publish, right? So reading good journal articles is, one, good for you because you need to build up your knowledge. Two, you will learn how to you start seeing ways to write good journal articles as well, right? So it's scientific articles will play a very prominent role in your life as a scientist, right? So there are many types of journal articles, right? But what is relevant for us right now are the original articles and review articles. So you can have articles which are primary or secondary. Those primary ones are the very basic research. So where a scientist or a group, they publish a specific piece of work, and it pertains only to a very specific project, right? A review article, on the other hand, takes a lot of these projects and try to connect, sort of try to tell an overarching story about it, right? So what you need right now are to look at primary articles and review articles, right, at this stage, right? You might also want to look at popular magazines because that is a very gentle way to get into a field, right? Now, primary articles, original articles are not necessarily the easiest beasts to read, right? So that's why in 2 weeks' time we'll come together and try and see whether we can have some strategies to help you read through them, right? So that's essentially what I want to share with you today, right? Just to give you a quick idea as to what these journal articles are, right? Because next week Dr. N will talk to you about finding these journal articles, right? So how we are going to go is, today we'll talk about what journal articles are. In week 2, Dr. N will talk to you about how to find them in this huge, there are millions of articles. In week 3, we read how to do some exercises. Week 4, Dr. Lee will come and teach you how to write, right? That's essentially the idea. So I hope this short video would help you have a quick idea as to what journal articles are, right? Have a look at the website. If there are any questions that you have, please email me or contact me in any of the forms, any of the ways that we shared at the briefing. Okay, right. Bye bye.